This is the Fortean Slip British Invasion with your host, Chris York.
I am the Ye Now Deloshi. I just destroy humanity wherever I go.
And co-host, Richard Allen.
Have you ever seen that episode of The X-Files? Oh yes, you have. You ruined it for me.
Together they look at all things with a pinch of salt.
Making fun of like all the witnesses to Bigfoot, and the story is completely insane. There's no way it could possibly be true, but it is true.
By the way, I never listened to your show, but I listened to the show the other day. I kind of liked the story, so I said fuck it and threw it up there. I sent you the link to that. Did you check that out?
The symbolism is lost when they're turned into rainbow-spewing unicorns riding saucy bananas. The ranch was more UFO-y stuff, and the Skinwalker legend is more people turning into animals.
And it's not like a medicine man. Like a medicine man's a good guy. He heals people, does dances, whatever the fuck they do. I don't fucking know. The goody two-shoes stuff, Richard.
Oh, right. So they don't help little old ladies cross the road.
Hello, and welcome to the Fortean Slip British Invasion, episode 5. This is the batteries not included episode. Was that what we decided to go with, Richard?
That was indeed the title we decided.
It was either that or Chris buys a new microphone. No, headphones. God damn. I need more coffee.
It was the Fortean Slip British Invasion, episode 5, Chris buys a new pair of headphones episode.
Yes, and forgets to get batteries for it because it's wireless, and it was fairly cheap, but it will do the fucking trick. I'm totally excited. I get home, open these fucking things up that I paid dick for, and then I'm like, shit, I can't use them. I don't have batteries.
They screwed me.
However,
they screwed me on the batteries.
I was able to wire them in so I can use them with a wire. And they are more comfortable than using my fucking earbuds, which suck for when I'm doing this podcast. So that's always good. But I got in touch with Richard, and he had asked about doing a show today, so it's kind of impromptu. But he had said that he wanted to do the Enfield Haunting or Enfield Poltergeist or whatever the fuck you want to refer to it as. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he says, am I going to take point again? And I'm like, well, I know a little bit about it, but I don't know a whole shit ton about it. I'm like, if you know more, then of course, like, have at. Like, take the reins, motherfucker. But to give a little backstory on the Enfield Haunting / Poltergeist, and this is not the Enfield Horror, which is a completely different thing. That's like a cryptid, this weird alien-like cryptid thing. It was like three-legged, had a tail. I don't fucking know. It looked weird. But the story is on my YouTube channel and on the blog. You can find it on both, on either theforteanslip.com or youtube.com/theforteanslip. Thank you. But this happened in 1977, or from 1977 to 1979. In, is it Brimsdown, Richard?
Brimsdown.
In Enfield, England. It involved two sisters, ages 11 and 13. They were named Margaret and Janet. Damn it, Janet. And there was all this weird shit that went on. The thing that I remember is the famous picture of one of the girls supposedly floating in air. And there's a lot of hubbub or hullabaloo about that, or whether or not that is just her bouncing on the fucking bed, or what it is, or anywho. What say you, Richard?
What say I? Well, that picture is hotly debated. You have to remember that the girl in question was a champion of gymnastics. So she could have easily been jumping up and down on the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all you got?
That's all. Oh, right, yeah. He's just passing. Right, yeah. That was another example of me completely screwing the pooch.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, so yeah. The whole thing happened in Brimsdown, North London, 1977, in a council house. American listeners, council houses in London are usually terraced, 2 up, 2 down, so it would have been a very small house in a ghetto area of London. The girl in question, Janet Hodgson, was sharing her room with her brother Johnny. The whole thing started on the 30th of August 1977. She says that the bed suddenly started shaking. She was woken up. She's screaming for her mother, and when the mother came, the bed stopped. And that's like the whole crux of this issue, of this whole event, which is one of the most famous examples of poltergeist activity in England, at least. I don't know about America, but in England, it's a big deal. It's hotly debated by paranormal societies. It was thoroughly investigated at the time by the Society for Psychic Research, which was founded in 1882. It had prime ministers as members, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was also a member. So it was a big deal.
He bought into that fairy bullshit, though, right?
Yes. I was just literally going to that was going to be my next point, that he was an idiot anyway.
Like, fucking thanks for the fucking setup there. Swinging a fucking crack.
Teamwork. Yeah. But yeah, those little girls that were drawing pictures of fairies.
Yeah, like fucking love me some Sherlock Holmes, but him believing in that fucking bullshit was, oof. That was rough. I was looking at those pictures the other day, as a matter of fact, like taking a look through them, and I'm like, these are so obviously bullshit.
Yeah, they are. But it's like the girls said at the time, the girls that were doing it said, well, we didn't expect anyone to take us seriously. It was like they wanted to believe. And I was, yeah.
It looked like them sitting next to Shrinky Dinks.
Yes. And there's that one famous picture where she's supposedly looking at a fairy, but she's actually focusing on something other than the fairy. Which means it probably wasn't in the picture. But of course it wasn't in the picture. There was more red flags than that than there are in most Bigfoot things.
Right, but I mean, so I just wanted to state that for the record, yes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was on that little, what was it, like board or whatever?
The Society for
Society, but he also bought into that. So continue, Richard.
But it also included 2 prime ministers, which is a massive deal when you consider politicians like to distance themselves from anything that could be remotely scandalous. That 2 prime ministers were on a board for paranormal research, which is very interesting. And the man that was in charge of investigating this case of poltergeist activity, which a man named Maurice Grossi, was actually a veteran of World War II, served in the Royal Artillery, and he was considered a very serious, well-to-do man. So,
well, you got to remember too. Yeah, granted, this was 1977, but when I was doing some research for the history of the Ouija board, when I did that story for my channel, in the early 1900s and even into the later 1900s, having like seances, trying to contact the dead, those sort of things were all like very normal. It was like a normal thing to do. It was like people didn't get together and watch TV shows or, play internet games or play fucking Xbox like we do now. That was like one of the huge pastimes. And people did it all over. So it doesn't surprise me that some of these people were into that. I mean, yeah, it seems like a big deal, but I think those sorts of things were more considered were more entertainment for people. It was shit for them to do. Keep them occupied.
That's a good point.
So, but, sorry to interrupt again. I just wanted to make that point.
Well, it's your show, Chris.
Yeah.
So, right, yeah. So it wasn't just the bed shaking, obviously. If it was just that, it wouldn't be a big paranormal event. And it did go for 2 years. The night after the 30th of August, the 31st of August, is when it is traditionally considered to have really started in earnest. All night long there was knocking, shuffling noises, a chest of drawers slid across the room. The daughter's mother, the girl's mother, thought it was burglars and got the neighbours involved, and they did a full search of the house and found nothing. But they all heard the knocking. And in the end, the police were called, and the responding officer, WPC Caroline Heaps, witnessed a chair rise up and fly across the room on its own. And this is all weird shit. It's not something, you expect police officers to have the imagination to make up.
Well, and then again, you have to go to the point that they are people. People are very fallible. People,
Very true.
People can lie. People can make up bullshit. People can recall things a whole lot differently than what they actually saw it. I hate to, poke holes and say, oh, well, it was a police officer, this is, a credible witness. But, I mean, if we're going to look at things objectively, then it's a human being. And human beings fuck up and do fucked up shit all the time, as we both know.
Very true. It's going to be, yeah. So we've got that. That police officer stuck to a dying day to that a witness testimony that she witnessed that, but a lot of people don't believe her. Which is the whole thing about this is 50-50. Like, it's a proper conspiracy theory because there's very rarely you'll find any Enfield haunting in the middle. They're either it was a hoax or it was completely legit. There was a lot of weird stuff that happened. And it happened for 2 years straight, like full 18 months of just random weird shit. But when we get to the root of the issue, the girls were caught hoaxing a couple of stuff. Were you going to say anything?
No, I was taking a sip off my coffee.
Yeah. So yeah, a paranormal investigator set up a remote camera and caught Janet bending some spoons, moving a tape recorder and banging on the wall with a broom handle. There was also some evidence suggesting that she'd studied ventriloquism because she was claiming to be possessed by the spirit of an old man called Bill.
It's an Otto and George reference for any of you fuckers that don't know.
Need Bob to do his Bill the dog for that.
But yeah, I've seen I don't know too much about this haunting, the poltergeist. I had seen like I said, the famous picture, the girl in the air. Looks like she's on a trampoline, kinda, but it's a bed. And I had, of course, heard about the story that there was all this activity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't realize how much of a big deal it is for you over in England. Like that it's a big deal over there as far as the paranormal world's concerned.
Well, it's like one of the most famous cases
right
of poltergeist activity. I mean,
like if you say Amityville over here, people people in the paranormal world go to Amityville Horror.
Right, but it's not a big deal to like Joe on the street. But anybody in the British paranormal community knows the Enfield Haunting.
Right.
Now, another thing that goes against it is the investigators, Maurice Grossi and Guy Lyon Playfair, were said to know that the girls were faking stuff. Grossi actually went on the record in an interview saying that, of course, they were playing tricks. They were children, but he still reckoned that some of it was legitimate, which sort of suggests that,
Well,
but then again,
did they write books or anything, those guys?
Well, those two on it, yeah, they did.
Yeah, of course. Of course they're gonna. I mean, that's gonna be their bread and butter. I mean, let's keep this fucking money train a rolling, Richard.
Well, Gossi didn't need it. He was already a well-to-do man.
Well, that's all right. People with money still want money.
Yeah, it's true.
That is very true.
Apparently, Lego and marbles were regularly getting thrown around in that house, and it was hot when they picked it up. Hot to the touch.
Oh, the items were hot to the touch?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently that's consistent with poltergeist activity, but
I don't.
It's one of them.
I've never been privy to any poltergeist activity to be able to.
I wasn't aware.
To be able to have picked up any objects that have been thrown by a poltergeist, so I'm gonna go with I don't know if that's the case.
I wasn't aware there was a universal standard.
Yeah, I wasn't either. This house has been cleansed.
Losers.
I mean, I don't like any of these things where people say, "Oh, this is," and this definitely is how this is in a cryptozoological way, or this is how this is in the paranormal world. How the fuck do you know?
There are no experts in the field that's in.
I love when I go to watch like Finding Bigfoot, the one fucking time that I did, and there's like these Bigfoot factoids. Like they're real. Like that this is exactly what Bigfoot does. Show me where. Show me one instance that you can prove that this is what fucking happens. You can't. It's all just fucking conjecture. It's just fucking bullshit. Yeah. So I like to look at everything with, the eyes of a skeptic, because there's a lot of hoaxing and a lot of bullshit that goes on out there. And for somebody to tell me that two little girls pulled bullshit on people, okay, I buy that. I mean, and why is it always two little girls? Two little girls stab their friend for Slender Man. Two little girls pull off the Enfield poltergeist thing. I want somebody to do some research about this shit. What's going on?
It's weird that you'd say that, because that was going to be coming up to one of my last points, but we can skip to it now if you want.
Sure.
Is that a lot of this stuff, all of this stuff, was centered around a couple of teenage girls. She was 11 when it first started, but she was, approaching adolescence.
Right, well, if it was 2 years, she would have been close to 13 or 13 when it ended.
Yeah, and she started, being an adolescent early on. Most cases of demonic possession also happen to little teenage girls. And as you said, a lot of teenage girls commit crimes, stab people, get more involved into
Well, I'm
cults
not saying that. I'm not saying that more teenage girls or more girls do. No, I think boys
No.
probably do. I think it's just interesting that they do it in pairs. I want to know if there's like a fucking pattern here, where they do it in pairs.
Well, yeah, there is a pattern. Teenage girls do this weird religious shit more than boys do. I mean, teenage boys just generally kill a bunch of people.
Wow, you're gonna get some hate. Just telling you, just laying that out there.
Chris, I run a blog where I regularly call people cunts.
I understand that.
I'm used to the hate. I'm just saying, like, it tends to be teenage girls that do this weird religious shit, like spirits and stuff. So I wonder how much of this is just like acting out, teenagers acting out. I mean, there's that, obviously, that two teenagers were pissing around and pulled the wool over people's eyes with this poltergeist stuff. But on the other hand, it did happen for 18 months straight. And, in a small house with people coming and going, like researchers coming and going all the time. And I just wonder, didn't they get bored or something?
Well, you mean the people pulling off the hoax?
Yeah, wouldn't you get bored?
Well, I mean, people enjoy pulling one over on people.
That's true.
I mean, think about, like, I know when I've worked with guys and there's been like running gags fucking with each other, like you'll take that shit to the limit, to the absolute fucking limit, man. And I remember one time when I was working nights someplace, the gag was like sneaking up behind somebody and scaring the fucking shit out of them. And we would just, it just went on and on and on. Like, you'd get working, you not paying attention, stalking or whatever. And somebody comes up behind you and, if you don't hear them. Fuck. But that, the shit like that can just go on and on and on. I've seen other guys have, work rituals that they just do all the fucking time. So to get in on something and to just keep it going, I can totally see it. And I mean, look at Rick Dyer. He just keeps fucking pulling hoaxes, and look at all the bullshit that some of the other are alleged hoaxes, I guess we all have to say.
Why do we have to say alleged?
I don't know, some bullshit Steve was talking about, but anyhow. But we all know that, as far as I'm concerned, 99% of all this is bullshit. And it is that 1% or whatever of a percent, or 1 point whatever percent of the stuff that's out there that is real or that is questionable that keeps me completely interested. Because even if it's just that one little fraction, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. That's, could be something. So, and hey, we live in a big universe. We're only a small speck in a portion of that universe. That's a small speck in the huge universe. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. So I'm open to any possibilities, but when I hear a story like this, I instantly go, two girls wanted to fuck with some people. Now, is that the case? I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. All I've seen is a photograph and read a couple of fucking blog articles, some stories, Wikipedia, seen some fucking YouTube videos. I don't know. But I'd say that more than likely, it's a fucking hoax.
Well, That's the thing, isn't it? You come to the end of it, you go through all the evidence and go through all the conflicting, the counterpoints. You look at everything's available. You have to make your own decisions. I mean,
well, I've always said that I love getting like sucked into something and then watching it unravel. Like John Teeter's my favorite one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Amazing. That's my favorite thing that I got sucked into, and then I slowly watched it just unravel before my eyes, and it was so great, and I still love it. Like, I still talk about it all the fucking time. I still do shows on it. I fucking still make jokes about it. That whole thing cracks me the fuck up, and as with anything in this, I love the slow unravel of it, especially if something catches me and I'm like, oh, that looks real, or that's cool, and then or I see something and then Phil goes, yeah, that's this, and then shows it to me, and I'm, fuck you ruin everything. You fucking asshole.
Phil ruins everything. That's how we're ending the show.
Yep. This has been the Fortean Slip British Invasion, episode 5. If you like this shit, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe, share this shit around. Share it everywhere. Share. Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and at youtube.com/Dred Funn. Check out Matt Knapp over at bigfootcrossroads.com. And I guess you can check out Bob. Is it youtube.com/Parabreakdown? I don't know. Look for Phil. And maybe look for Steve. See ya!